I want you to listen to former President Bill Clinton. This is President Clinton, who signed that into law in 2015.
I signed a bill that made the problem worse, and I want to admit it. In that bill, there were longer sentences, and most of these people are in prison under state law, but the federal law set a trend, and that was overdone. We were wrong about that.
President Clinton says that they were wrong about that. Senator Harris has said that it contributed to mass incarceration. Why is it Vice President Biden admitting what we're hearing from the former president?
Look, I think many people will tell you across the country, Victor, black folks included, that the crime bill and the reaction to what was happening in the early 90s. Now, look, I was only about 3 or 4, but I'm a student of history. What was happening in the early 90s, the reaction was an overcorrection to a very real issue.
Now
and those are going to come.
Now the campaign's position that the crime bill did contribute to mass incarceration?
Victor, I think the vice president, his comments speak for themselves. What is very clear is
but his comment was that it does
has,
not contribute to mass incarceration. The former president who signed it said it did.
Look, Victor, if we play the whole clip, what he also said was, his comment was, what he also said was that the majority of folks that are incarcerated were incarcerated at the state level.
And there's a reason for that. Let me put up the Truth in Sentencing incentives here.
And I mean, there is a reason for that.
But there's a reason. Let me put it up. Let me put it up on the screen, guys. The Truth in Sentencing section of the 1994 crime bill. This is page 21. It incentivized it offered billions of dollars to build new correctional facilities if states would increase the percentage of convicted violent offenders, increase the average prison time, increase the percentage of the sentence was there. Did this bill not incentivize putting more people in jail and keeping them there longer?
No one is suggesting that there's not a real issue, there's not a real problem or a real issue. And I'm here to tell you that Vice President Biden will roll out, you'll see a criminal justice policy soon. We are going to continue to have this conversation about the crime bill throughout the campaign trail. But we're also going to put forward some policies, Victor. So just wait and see. Give us a minute. Wait and see.
We will look forward to those. Symone Sanders, thanks so much.
Symone, listen, it's a time to concede. When you're dead to rights, and when you have the man who signed the crime bill saying it was a mistake, you got to concede at that point. You can't just pander for the person you're working for. You can't do that. Not when the truth is there. But that crime bill was horrible. And every person that's mostly signed it said that it was the wrong thing to do. They're not building jails to lock up white people. They're building jails to lock up black people. Just like you found those 95 bodies they found in Sugar Land? That was on a convict leasing area? Worked them to death? Because see, one thing you don't do is hurt yourself to the point that you kind of fracture yourself in the community. Because see, one thing Joe Biden is going to do, he's going to go back to his life. But people will never forget that you're trying to sit up here and give excuse and cover for the man that helped usher in a lot of mass incarceration. There's a lot of people's family members locked up right now. Now, I know you got education, Symone. You part of that Bootlick crowd. I know. You still got to go back to the community. And then what they going to look at you on there? What about parents right now still got kids that's locked up? Been locked up for a long time. What are you going to tell them? Well, you defending the actual guy that helped lock people up that had a medical problem. Not a criminal problem, a medical problem. Because see, these people with opioids, oh, it's medical. They're not calling them criminals and calling them super predators. They're not doing that. That's why you're all the way wrong, Symone. Don't turn away from the people like that, because at the end of the day, Joe Biden and the people that follow him, they're not going to have your back. If something happens to you, you're going to look to the black community to have your back. And the route you're going, when you need us, we may not be there.